The narrator insists that the audience pays attention because Caitlin Clark has truly thrown down the gauntlet this time. The entire conversation surrounding her underwent a radical transformation overnight following her latest appearance on national television. That moment carried significant weight as Clark appeared perfectly poised before delivering a truly shocking statement to the world. Her demand for Kelsey Mitchell's return was far more than a simple remark. It was a powerful and strategic message. One has to wonder if this was a calculated maneuver or a spontaneous revelation of what is happening behind the scenes. High-profile athletes rarely make such specific public declarations unless major changes are already being set into motion. The way she delivered the news showed zero hesitation and a complete lack of interest in corporate filtering. Such directness revealed everything one needs to know about her commitment to that particular backcourt partnership. However, the most intriguing parts of the segment may have been missed by those not paying close attention. She smoothly transitioned from discussing the expansion draft to her roster demands with an intentional and professional grace. The narrator plans to dissect the full context of this interaction, suggesting her final words might reveal the team's entire blueprint. The audience is encouraged to lock in and prepare for a deep dive into the unfolding drama. The energy shifts as Caitlin Clark officially makes her presence known in the building for the broadcast. She joins the program to preview the upcoming season and discuss her life outside of basketball as the coverage continues. She is hailed as a once-in-a-generation talent who is fundamentally altering the very landscape of professional sports. This impact is noted to transcend the women's category, affecting the trajectory of the entire basketball world. The host recalls their previous interview on February 1st, just before critical negotiations began to finalize the new labor agreement. Finally, after a long and arduous process, the massive deal has been officially ratified and put into action. When examining the specifics, she identifies the overhaul of salary structures and revenue sharing as the most transformative elements. While the new agreement contains numerous victories for the players, these financial shifts are considered the most paramount. She believes this sets a massive precedent for all female athletes, proving that their professional product is finally being valued. Deep gratitude is expressed for every individual who worked tirelessly to bring this historic deal to its completion. Significant credit is given to both the league officials and the Players Association for their intense dedication to the cause. Negotiators sacrificed time with their families, enduring grueling 10-hour sessions that often stretched until 4 in the morning. She remains incredibly thankful for the selfless nature shown by everyone involved throughout the entire high-stakes negotiation process. The financial figures are described as staggering, with the team's salary cap increasing by 5 times its previous limit. Maximum contracts hit $1.4 million, while average pay skyrockets to $600,000, proving the sport's undeniable growth. Standing at the very center of this revolution, she acknowledges the gravity and significance of the current moment. The host asks how she perceives her own personal influence on the massive explosion of interest in women's sports. She responds with humility, claiming her only strategy is to navigate the spotlight by remaining entirely true to herself. Changing the industry was never her primary goal. She simply showed up to play the game she truly loved. She feels a profound duty to ensure that every fan in the stands leaves the arena with a smile. There is a firm belief that once spectators experience the fever's energy, they are compelled to return for more. This magnetism is something she believes is lifting the entire tide of women's professional sports across the board. While she acknowledges the responsibility, she makes a conscious effort not to let the pressure stifle her natural joy. She speaks with a sense of wonder, expressing how fortunate she feels to have such an incredible career. A charming story is shared about a young fan at the hotel who was waiting specifically to see her. Although the fan spotted her, she admits with a laugh that she wished she had seen the girl first. The host jokingly suggests that the child should have been brought along to sit with them on the set. She promises to provide a guest pass next time before the conversation shifts back to the league's rapid expansion. The league is expanding quickly, with expectations of reaching 18 teams by the year 2030. The narrator asks for her perspective on the explosive development and future trajectory of the WNBA in general. She describes the current state of the league's evolution as nothing short of extraordinary and historic. The Fever moved from playing in modest venues to a league expanding from 12 to 15 teams almost overnight. She observed the league's evolution from under 144 roster spots to an anticipated expansion exceeding 170. Her mind frequently turns to collegiate players, many of whom reach out to share their personal basketball journeys. For these athletes, the dream remains vivid because they recognize a legitimate professional path finally exists for them. They see the potential for real earnings at home, sparing them from the traditional necessity of playing overseas for money. Some might pursue both opportunities. It struck her as a beautiful reality that the professional aspirations of college women are now incredibly tangible and valid. Expansion represents a massive victory in her eyes, and she is thrilled to witness the league's unfolding future. Talk of new franchises in Cleveland and Philadelphia is rising, while Houston looks to absorb the Connecticut squad. She is fueled by the ambition to plant the seeds of women's basketball in every possible market. This growth elevates the entire landscape of female sports, with Toronto and Portland officially joining the fray this season. The focus then shifted back to her own remarkable journey and presence on the hardwood. After being sidelined for most of the previous year, she fought back through an 8-month recovery period. She sat through 230 days of anticipation before finally suiting up for the World Cup qualifier. There was a deep curiosity regarding her physical resilience and the raw emotion of returning to intense gameplay. She argued that no drill can match the electric sensation of lacing up boots and stepping into a real game. The atmosphere surrounding her return felt uniquely charged compared to her standard professional appearances. Rather than returning to her domestic squad, she made a high-stakes debut with the senior national team. That transition sparked a wave of adrenaline and nerves. Yet she ultimately felt a familiar sense of belonging. She feels physically revitalized, crediting a massive support network for guiding her back to peak performance. It seems surreal that 8 months have passed, and her focus is now entirely on the World Cup challenge. The absence of the crowd's energy was felt deeply, especially the unwavering passion of the Indiana faithful. When she mentions finding her rhythm, she's actually referring to her dominant MVP performance at the qualifiers. A final inquiry focused on the Indiana Fever fans, who haven't seen a finals appearance since 2015. She had to endure the frustration of watching from the sidelines as the team reached the conference semifinals. That experience was grueling, yet it redefined her expectations and goals for the upcoming championship run. The mission remains unchanged from last year. They are entirely focused on capturing the ultimate title. With over 100 free agents flooding the market, the team's final roster remains a mystery for now. However, she remains convinced that the team possesses a formidable and talented foundation. Their top priority involves securing the return of Kelsey Mitchell, her elite partner in the team's backcourt. Mitchell's brilliance simplifies the game, positioning the Fever as the definitive frontrunners for the championship. While the expectations bring pressure, she embraces the challenge alongside a world-class coaching staff and roster. The world is now eagerly waiting to witness their performance on the big stage. On May 9th, fans will finally see her back in action against the Dallas Wings in her Fever colors. The grind begins even sooner, with training camp scheduled to commence on April 19th. Yet, she remains a constant fixture in the basketball world, staying close to the heart of the action. Watching the Joker navigate his own injury struggles brought back vivid memories of her own difficult recovery. She watched in awe as he returned to the floor, leading the NBA with nearly a triple-double average. Regaining that level of absolute dominance after a long layoff is a staggering mental and physical feat. Indeed, being sidelined taught her that availability is a skill, yet he managed to lead his team without missing a beat. His return was anticipated by everyone, though few can consistently deliver triple-doubles with such effortless frequency. He has maintained this incredible level of play for 2 straight years, a feat rarely seen in professional sports. He remains her favorite athlete to watch, and she considers him the most talented player on the planet. She believes the internal psychological battle is far more taxing than the actual physical healing process. Beyond reclaiming physical health, the real hurdle is overcoming the haunting doubt of whether one's greatness remains. The ghost of physical agony lingers, leaving one to wonder how much the mirror will lie once the healing begins. Swift acceptance is the only bridge across that chasm, though so many athletes find themselves wandering in the darkness of recovery. It is a grueling rite of passage that many champions have endured before him. The tallest mountain is the mental one. Even after the scars fade, warriors often whisper about the paralysis of doubt. Psychologically, the spirit remains fragile because the desperate hunger to reclaim a former glory creates a suffocating shadow. Every movement is haunted by the memory of the person they used to be, turning the comeback into a psychological war. Even Nikola Jokic seemed mortal for a moment, his aura of invincibility cracking when he finally stepped back onto the hardwood. The once unstoppable force struggled with his touch, clanking shots in the paint and faltering during the game's most desperate moments. In that stretch, the myth of the unbreakable giant finally began to feel human. Yet, his relentless climb back to triple-double dominance serves as a testament to a mind that refuses to be conquered. He spoke of the brotherhood surrounding him, claiming their shared heartbeat was the only thing that kept him steady. Beyond the physical wreckage of the injury, he craved the simple joy of the locker room, fleeing the soul-crushing boredom that makes the game feel like a distant dream. Isolation turns a player into a ghost. They obsess over game film until they are practically pulling their hair out. They itch to take a shot even when their legs are forbidden from walking, defying the very laws of recovery. But finding sanctuary among peers, men and women who understand the language of the struggle can pull a mind out of the depths. That sense of belonging was the North Star guiding the Joker back to his throne. The narrative then shifted toward Caitlin Clark, who was pressed to explain why she views him as the world's premier talent. She argued that regardless of the defensive pressure, his mind operates 3 steps ahead, always engineering the perfect escape. Rare is the giant who possesses such prophetic vision, delivering a surgical strike every single time the whistle blows. His greatness isn't measured solely by his points. Often, the final box score reveals a masterpiece of unselfish play. He might barely touch the rim in the first half, yet he has already orchestrated 12 scoring plays for his comrades. No matter the opposition's strategy, he will systematically dismantle their soul until nothing remains of their defense. The room debated. Did they all truly believe this man stood alone at the summit of basketball excellence? Agreement came easily, centered on his zen-like patience and the fact that he never allows the chaos to rattle him. Strategists attempt to exhaust him by forcing him into 1,000 defensive rotations, hoping to find a weakness. That matters little, because on the other end, he is a conductor, ensuring his orchestra is perfectly tuned before the final act begins. He treats the court like a grand chessboard, positioning every piece to ensure the killing blow lands in the fourth quarter. While the defense is distracted by his teammates, they realize too late that he has already checkmated their entire season. The way he manipulates the flow of the battle is a phenomenon unlike anything else in the modern era. Meanwhile, Denver sits in 4th place in the West, fighting off the hungry Wolves from Minnesota to protect their standing. But the conversation turned to Caitlin Clark's whirlwind summer, a season defined by more than just her legendary jump shot. Between her national duties and her role as an analyst, she spent her Wednesday courtside for the Lakers and Pacers clash. It turns out she has a secret weapon on the sidelines, a passion for capturing the world through a camera lens. The audience was treated to a glimpse of her artistic side, proving she can master any viewfinder she chooses. When asked about her equipment, she identified her Sony rig, a serious tool for a serious new craft. Wielding a massive lens, she focused her eye on Obi Toppin as he moved through the frame. Despite the dim arena lighting and the lack of a flash, she hunted for the perfect shot amidst the shadows. The group wondered if this was a hidden obsession or a fresh spark, only for her to reveal it was a brand new pursuit. She playfully teased the crew for not showcasing the portraits she captured of the legendary LeBron James. The room erupted when it was revealed that the king himself had shared her photography with the entire world. She beamed with pride, calling that specific moment the crowning achievement of her burgeoning gallery. Every artist needs a title for their masterpiece. She simply called hers The King, a tribute to her ultimate idol. Imagine, the prestige she carries is undeniable. Legends like Ken Griffey acknowledge her greatness because her reputation among elite professional athletes is incredibly high. Every photograph she captures becomes an instant viral sensation the very second their gazes lock together in the frame. She lowered her lens and offered a smile, but he just stared ahead blankly, seemingly unaware of her existence in that moment. The resulting image was flawless, yet her soaring celebrity status might soon prevent people from allowing her to take such candid hobby pictures in public. This reflects her massive influence. Regardless of the path forward, the hosts expressed gratitude for her presence, her diverse interests, and her resilient return from injury. Everyone eagerly anticipates her upcoming performances, especially with the refreshing addition of another powerful female voice on the set today. She joked about visiting the studio more frequently, receiving a warm invitation in return before expressing her sincere appreciation. With that, the Indiana Fever star concluded her brief but impactful segment on the national basketball broadcast. Her jerseys were visible everywhere as fans waited expectantly for her arrival back at the hotel. She navigated her way to the spotlight and would provide a few signatures before her time there concluded. The broadcast promised further coverage shortly, but the star's message was already echoing through the sports world with great intensity. The primary objective is securing Kelsey Mitchell's return. That is the main headline, so there is no more room for theories or speculation. The young phenom essentially issued a mandate, declaring her teammate an absolute necessity rather than just a simple personal preference. If the cornerstone player wants her back, She clearly recognizes a level of synergy that is essential for the team. There is profound trust in her strategic vision, her feel for the game, and her deep understanding of roster chemistry. Their late success in 2024 was no accident. It was simply the result of two elite guards finally mastering their connection. Throughout their journey, Mitchell remained a complete professional, never once uttering a single disparaging word or displaying any negative energy toward her teammate. She offered nothing but encouragement and praise, effectively silencing all the external critics who tried to create unnecessary drama. Their on-court chemistry was undeniable, creating a relentless offensive flow that put immense pressure on every opposing defensive scheme. For a period, they stood as arguably one of the most formidable backcourt duos in the entire professional women's league. Any talk of dismantling such a potent combination feels entirely too hasty and perhaps even misguided to many observers. While some might suggest letting her go, if the face of the franchise explains exactly who she desires beside her, then the leadership must pay attention. Her words carry the weight of a true leader who understands how to shape the future of her organization. She spoke with the authority of someone knowing precisely which direction the squad needs to take moving forward. That declaration demanded immediate respect, even as the interview shifted toward lighter, more humorous exchanges between the participants. They shared laughs over snapshots and broader league developments, maintaining a relaxed atmosphere throughout the remainder of the session. However, one should not be distracted because the star just revealed exactly what the Indiana Fever are attempting to accomplish. The focus is retaining Mitchell, making any previous rumors about trade blocks or departures seem entirely unfounded and unlikely. Those theories carry much less weight after such a definitive endorsement. If the leader believes so firmly in that partnership, the fan base should support her vision without hesitation. After hearing those comments directly from her, do you still believe Mitchell needs to depart, or should this backcourt receive another legitimate run together? The storyteller signed off by asking for thoughts, urging the community to engage and support the channel.